Hello, and welcome back to another discussion. This discussion will be about sexually transmitted infections, and one of these infections are called Chlamydia trachomatis. I will just put CT for short so that I'm not struggling that much. Alright, CT is a common sexual transmitted infection caused by bacteria. People don't know if you have it because people don't know they don't have the sign or symptoms such as genital pain and discharge from the vagina or penis. CT is the leading cause of bacterial sexual transmitted infection in the world. However, so the words that I cannot pronounce correctly, I will put it on the screen. So then, if you know how to say the word, good for you, because then you understand what I'm trying to say. And if you don't, I'll just put it up on the screen so you know what word I'm talking about, how it's spelled, and everything. So, endemic areas, most in Africa and in the Middle East. CT also causes trachoma. I don't think that's how you say it. Is a leading cause of preventable blindness worldwide. So the symptoms for genital CT infections are in mostly in women. So these infections will include changes in the vaginal discharge, intermittent intermenstrual and postcoital bleeding. I will put all of those in the screen so you understand what I'm trying to say and how I can say it. You just have to be careful with these kinds of sexual transmitted infections because that's why people say wear condom or if you have a sexual relationship with a partner, then you don't have to worry about those infections. But you also have to be very careful because if you actually have this infection, this can create very, very hard disease, even for your child. Because you could actually spread the infection to your children when you're pregnant. So, I will talk about more in this time. So, infections may ascend from the cervix, resulting in a endometric and salpingitis. In a high population, I'm very sorry. In 2% to 15% of untreated women developed PID within a 2-week elapse between testing positive for CT and returning for treatment. So the treatment for this, or prevention for this disease, I will try to say the word again. I will say for the disease of Chlamydia trachomatis. So the treatment would be antibiotics effective against CT infections, cross and host membranes, and are actively intracellularly. So these target protein biosynthesis primarily by interactions with 50S or 30S ribosome subunits. Again, I will put the words that I may not be saying correctly on the screen so you know how it spells and how I'm trying to say it. So the antibiotics are targeting cell wall biosynthesis. Sorry, let me speak that one again. Antibiotics that target the cell wall biosynthesis are also effective. So, the current recommendation of CDC for treatment for uncomplicated genital infections in non-pregnant. I still don't. Wait. I'll put that word on the screen. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to say it. That's fine. I know it's someone below age of 18 and under, and for adults 18 and above is doxycycline for 7 days or acetylcycline in a single dose. So these, I'm going to call them A and D because they actually have. Okay, so A is recommended for the first choice for treatment of pregnant women with amlodipine as an alternative, and D and O, which I will try to pronounce it, ofloxacin, I also put that on the screen, are contraindicated in pregnant women. Treatment for CT infections in the context of PDI is similar with addition of second generation, and all of the third generation cyphalosporin for treatment of possible co-infections of by other STI pathogens. There you go. Okay. So there's more about treatment, but the treatment resolves the infection, but does not ameliorate pre-existing inflammatory mediate tissue damage. So that's how treatment works, and those are what kind of treatments people can use when they're pregnant or not pregnant, or should I say women, because it's women that can get pregnant. I'm not saying it very specifically because we still don't know. We're still researching, or should I say, we're trying to research it. I'm very sorry. Alright, so that's how you could use the treatment. But there's another way you could stop it by making sure if your partner and you are not sexually active, then you will all be safe from being in an infection or sexually transmitted infection. So, let me continue. In addition to a serious reproductive consequences such as infertility, ectopic pregnancy, and chronic pelvic pain of CT, has also been proposed as a possible risk factor for cervical cancer. So you could also get cancer from this if you're not really that careful. It's a very high risk, is what it's saying, and that's what I said before. Alright, so it's a high risk for cancer, which is with that specific cancer, which is bad. And I hope you are careful when you're doing what you're doing. Alright. So the person who helped with we're having a discussion while people were preparing this article that I am reading. It was called Taylor Poston, who was very helpful with the discussions while they were preparing for the review, or should I say article. Okay. We would like to, by the way, there's a lot of acronyms, so sorry for my namings. We would like to acknowledge the support of NIH and NIAD via U19A1084 and A1098660, and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill via SOM and TRACSTTSA Phase 1 Award from Randall and Darville PIS. That was a lot of acronyms. Okay, so my opinion on this matter, I think it is important to know the information and what you can get and what you can understand it from. So you need to understand that about infections, because they can actually be very, very, very harm for your body and even be life or death. So it could be very dangerous if you don't have this treated or you can prevent it in time. So it is very important to understand all of the knowledge that you are being given and what you're finding. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed. I have thrown a lot of info on you all, but I will try to put this article in the description, so you will read about it if you're interested. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this info, and I hope it helps you understand and make sure you're also protected while you're doing these things, so then you'll be safe and you will have less risk of getting cervical cancer, a life and death choice, or just getting sick in the matter if you're not treated. By the way, you also have to understand, if you have a serious problem, you have to make sure you get the right treatment to help you. So, I hope you enjoyed this speed draw or speed paint, and I hope you enjoy my little characters. They're my boys. So, I hope you enjoyed this speed paint, and I hope you have a good day, or night, or whatever time zone you're in, and goodbye.